Welcome to the Shreveport Connection. Of course, my name is Tommy, for those that don't know. Okay, birthdays. January 21st, Arnold Scollin, WWE Hall of Famer. Ivan Putski turned 76. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1995 after working with WWE in the early 70s and 80s. His career spanned nearly 20 years before retiring in 1987. And Arnold Scollin's birthday was all on January 21st. Maurice had a birthday. She was born in 1983. January 22nd, Tully Blanchard. He was born in 1954. January 23rd, Alex Silva. He was born in 1990. And January 24th, Mike Awesome, 1965. Advertised for your dark match main event was Roman Reigns versus Universal Champion Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins versus U.S. Champion Chris Jericho, both of which might be the dark matches. Shawn Michaels' movie, The Resurrection of Gavin Stone, began receiving reviews and is currently at 36% on Rotten Tomatoes, with 4 fresh and 7 rotten ratings from movie critics. Dolph Ziggler is in Washington, D.C. on Monday to help cover events including Women's March that is currently taking place. He posted a video of him on his Facebook page, which you can view at this link. Also tweeted that at Hill Ziggler, covering events all over D.C. today, starting with the hashtag Women's March around 1:30 Eastern on Facebook Live, then headed to C-SPAN. WWE has a WrestleMania plan for John Cena. According to Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer Radio, says it should become clear after Royal Rumble, and it's not an Undertaker match. After word got out, Mickie James' debut the day before it happened, WWE is looking to crack down on backstage leaks. Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, and Pete Dunne were pulled from WXW event in London on Saturday. It might be because of WWE wanting to use them, or either one of them, at TakeOver or Royal Rumble, because there's still 8 names that have been not been mentioned for the Royal Rumble. Keep an eye on Sunday's Progress show, where all 3 are champions, which they were also removed from that show as well. Linda McMahon Senate confirmation hearing was scheduled for Monday, and President Trump's nominee to head the Small Business Administration is expected to be grilled out about how WWE consolidated their territories, wrestler status, and independent contracts, and more. A documentary about Hulk Hogan's court battle with Gawker over his old sex tape that recently played at the Sundance Film Festival looks to be headed to Netflix. Who cares? Disney's Moana with The Rock has been nominated for 2 Academy Awards, Best Animated Feature Film and Best Original Song for How Far I'll Go single. The Academy Awards take place on February 26th. Also noted that WWE has delayed their Diamond Dallas Page Positively Living until April the 4th, adding to the rumors of DDP going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. WrestlingDVDNetwork.com reported that WrestleMania Monday is Raw. DVD and Blu-ray now has the original date for the DDP set and will be released on March 21st instead of April 4th, which is the day after WrestleMania 33. Also noted that John Cena was announced as the host of 2017 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. Vince McMahon congratulated Cena on Twitter at Vince McMahon. Congratulations to @John Cena on being chosen to host at Nickelodeon TV 2017 Kids' Choice Awards. #KCA 2017. Lana indicated on social media that she will be creating more content for her personal YouTube soon. WWE announced this week that WrestleMania 33 access tickets will be available to the general public on Saturday, February 4th. There should be a Ticketmaster pre-sale earlier that week. Full details on access, this link here. At WrestleMania on Twitter, tickets for this year's at WrestleMania #access are available Saturday, February 4th, again at that link. Kate8.com, spelled Kait8.com, is reporting that WWE Champion AJ Styles was a victim of theft last week. I believe I reported that on the SmackDown video, as he had some personal items stolen, along with a heck of a lot of cash, both in American money and in yen, Japanese money. Okay. According to the Arkansas State University Police, Styles claimed that a black bag had been stolen at the campus Convocation Center on Monday night. The incident is currently under investigation. AJ claimed that the bag had $1,000 American currency and 7,000 yen in it. An iPhone, Beats headphones, a small screen TV, an Xbox 360, and 6 games were also stolen. Well, Hall of Famer Trish Stratus recently announced that the birth of her second child. She wrote the following on her official website. Trish Stratus welcomed Madison Patricia, her second child, a bouncing baby girl, on Saturday, January 14, 2017. Her first child was a boy. Trish also delivered her daughter with her midwife and husband by her side at South Lake Hospital in Newark, Ontario. 3-year-old brother Max is said to be over the moon about the latest addition to the family. Newborn's middle name honors Trish's Greek paternal grandmother, who passed away last month. Congratulations to Trish, Ron, and big brother Max. Okay, news about Nia Jax's opponent. You see a picture of her, and I'll post with this video. From Cleveland was indie wrestler named Ray Lynn. She's been retweeting congratulatory comments from fans at Ray Lynn, Ray_Lynn on Twitter. And of course, she lost a match. It's what you call a squash match. Shelton Benjamin was at this past Friday's Texoma Pro Wrestling event in Sherman, Texas. Shelton, who had surgery this past September to repair a torn rotator cuff, and at that time he was also scheduled to make his WWE re-debut. The injury that prevented him from returning to SmackDown brand last summer. But he did sign autographs and took pictures. And then he interfered in the main event and double-crossed Charlie Haas, who was his former tag team partner from WWE, who was the heel character, and cost him the belt. Shelton did not use the injured shoulder when interfering in the match. Shelton looks to be great shape, and you can check out a photo of him at the event, courtesy of Wrestling Inc. on Instagram. Thanks to Ben Green from Wrestling Inc. On episode 117 of Sam Roberts' Wrestling Podcast, quite possibly the greatest professional wrestler of all time, Shawn Michaels, talked about staying in TV shape just in case WWE calls him on to make an appearance on short notice, such as this coming weekend, Royal Rumble. Whether WWE has contacted him about being in this year's Royal Rumble match itself, how he had a spot in WWE where he could call his own shots. During the interview, Michaels shared that he tries to stay in shape, at least TV-wise, just in case WWE calls. According to the Heartbreak Kid, he was told before WrestleMania 32 that he was to be shirtless, but wearing his ring gear. I've got to be honest, is what he said. What kept me accountable, again, last year, 6 months out of WrestleMania, then calling and going, we'd like you to come down with your shirt off and your gear. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Yes, the shirt off was WWE's idea. I'm like, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me. So from that point on, I kind of just decided that I think it's probably better if I just stay relatively TV ready just in case. Michael said that nobody from WWE has talked to him about being in the Royal Rumble this year from his hometown, San Antonio, Texas. Also, WWE Hall of Famer insinuated that he does not want to take spots from the younger performers. The thing is, I can remember, and again, I know I still come back to do stuff. I can still remember as a talent, somewhat, being offended with the older guys would come in and take a big payoff or whatever. And the thing is, I at least can say without a shadow of a doubt, I've never booked myself. I've never called them and said, hey, I'd like to do something. Everything is a call and is an offer to me. And he continued on. Literally, no one has talked to me about it. I recognize again that you guys have a field day with it. You guys talk about it, and you say they've talked about it and talked to me, but no one has. And I don't say that because, again, I'm also past that. Michael then said that his wife does not understand why HBK would not return for an even one-off until she saw the preparation he undertook for a small cameo at WrestleMania 32. My wife doesn't understand either. She's like, why don't you just go back and ba-bang, make the payoff? And honestly, the greatest thing about those matches is the after. Okay, it's the doing it. It's the doing it in the ring. And then it's the after when it was phenomenal to go. That was awesome. Sitting there with Taker and Michael Hayes and just basking in that moment or whatever. But the whole process is up. And I wasn't even aware. Even just last year, I sat there and all I did was walk out there for 5 minutes, and my wife sat there and looked at me and she goes, oh my goodness, for the first time, the light went off and she goes, I understand it. She goes, it's the whole process going up that you don't want to go through. She goes, I've seen you do it. All you do is walk out for 5 minutes last year and kick somebody. You could do that with your eyes closed and still went into that place where you're focused. You get quiet. And then 6 weeks of training. In Michael's view, if he returned to the square circle, he would only be wrestling for the money at this point in his life, and he does not want to be doing that. If I'm doing something, I want to be 100% of my time into it and make it good, as Michael said. I know the reasons why I wrestled and why I don't. And look, I would be doing it just for the money now, and I don't want to do that. And he also commented on if he would make a wrestling return, who he would face or like to face. And also he was asked about how he got into a position to have McMahon's ear. Michael's confirmed that it takes talent and individual relationship with the chairman. I think that is our individual one-on-one basis. I don't think it has a lot to do with time or accomplishments or this or that. I honestly think that it is taken on a case-by-case basis. I think so, yeah. Relationship with Mr. McMahon and skill level, I think that is true for all guys. And whether he agrees, clearly you can push any sort of idea you want. Right? But he always been the boss. He always, no, is still no. And didn't get who he was offering to face. Oh, Samoa Joe. That's what the name was given. And Samoa Joe replied, I'll be your Huckleberry. On Twitter. It was also announced on Raw that Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the Universal title on Sunday's Royal Rumble pay-per-view will now be a no disqualification match. Also announced on Raw, the 2-hour Royal Rumble kickoff show will feature Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax, plus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Raw Tag Team Champions Cesaro and Sheamus. Raw also saw Seth Rollins be removed from the 30-man main event after losing the spot to Sami Zayn. The finish saw Triple H's music play to distract Rollins, adding to the speculation. On Triple H versus Rollins, happening at WrestleMania 33. An updated Royal Rumble card coming out of Raw with more Rumble match participants. More entrants should be revealed on SmackDown. Remember to join in on my SmackDown following the Raw video. WWE title match. Of course, you got John Cena versus AJ Styles. No disqualification for the Universal title. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. U.S. champion Chris Jericho will be hanging above the ring in a shark cage during that match. Raw Women's title match. Bayley versus Charlotte. Cruiserweight title. Neville versus Rich Swann. 30-man Royal Rumble match. Brock Lesnar, Bill Goldberg, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Big E. U.S. champion Chris Jericho, Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, The Undertaker, The Miz, WWE Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose, Raw Tag Team Champion Cesaro, Raw Tag Team Champion Sheamus, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Luke Harper, Big Show, Sami Zayn, Big Cass, and Rusev to close out from Raw. And you got the kickoff pre-show match. Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax, kickoff pre-show match. Also Raw Tag Team Championship match. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Cesaro and Sheamus, which there will be 2 referees. So it's probably going to be controversy in that match. To have a rematch on Raw. The news that I got from Shawn Michaels, this was the second interview he did with ESPN. And he gave who his opponent he would like to face, and that would be none other than Samoa Joe. If he would be returning to the WWE for one more match. I look at Samoa Joe, and I've told him a number of times that I see his stuff and at NXT, and I think to myself, man, I could have a great deal of fun with you. He's a guy I have sort of enjoyed, and one of those sleeper guys that no one talks about, as Michael said. We have contrasting styles. I get that everybody wants to see me in AJ or Seth or Dolph Ziggler. From my standpoint, I think really telling a great story out there is most important. I could do it with a guy like Samoa Joe. His stuff looks really good, and sometimes he just looks like he's beating the tar out of somebody. And of course, Joe said on Twitter, I'll be your Huckleberry. And the news is that Shawn Michaels will be working the Royal Rumble kickoff pre-show with Jerry the King Lawler, Booker T, and Renee Young this Sunday in San Antonio, Texas. Also, Jerry the King Lawler, Saturday, will be here in Shreveport, at the Shreveport Convention Center, for the Shreveport World of Wheels. And main event matches for the spoilers from Cleveland. Brian Kendrick versus Lance Dorado. Alicia Fox versus Dana Brooke. And here's what happened. Brian Kendrick defeated Lance Dorado by submission. Alicia Fox defeated Dana Brooke. Raw opened up from Cleveland with Michael Coleslaw, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. We go to ring. Out comes Roman Reigns to kick off the show. Shark Cage is in the ring. Reigns talks about his Royal Rumble match against the Universal Champion Kevin Owens. Music interrupts and comes out. Owens comes out with Universal United States Champion Chris Jericho to the stage. Owens talks about how Reigns powerbombed his way through WWE, but only one man can say he put Reigns through a table. Owens. Reigns says Owens is about to be the one to get whipped in front of his best friend and the world. Jericho addresses Reigns. This leads to Reigns calling Jericho to the ring for a U.S. title match. It looks like we're going to have tonight's main event as Reigns' music hits. Still to come segment. Goldberg is here. We go to a promo for NXT TakeOver from San Antonio and a commercial break. Back from the break, we got Coleslaw confirming Reigns versus Jericho for tonight. Luke Gallows versus Cesaro is your first match of the evening. We go to the ring. Out comes Raw Tag Team Champions Cesaro and Sheamus. We get a look back at what happened last week. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson were out next. It's announced that the two teams will do battle at the Royal Rumble kickoff pre-show, and the titles will be on the line. 2 referees for the match. Back and forth start. Cesaro hits corkscrew uppercut for a 2 count. Gallows took control and kept up the momentum as we go to commercial. Back from the break, we see Sheamus chasing Carl Anderson to the back during the break. Sheamus returned to ringside, but Anderson did not. Gallows with a side slam for a 2 count. Cesaro countered Gallows into and nails a big suplex. Cesaro then made a comeback and nailed a big DDT for a 2 count. Cesaro goes for the Cesaro swing, but Gallows fights it fights it and goes to the floor for a breather. Gallows shows Sheamus. Referee warns Sheamus to back up. Gallows comes back to the apron, but Cesaro boots him to the floor. Sheamus levels Gallows while the referee is distracted by Cesaro. Cesaro then rolls up Gallows back inside the ring, goes for the sharpshooter. Anderson runs back down and drop kicks Sheamus at ringside. The referee is distracted by Anderson while Gallows taps to the sharpshooter. Gallows ends up dropping Cesaro with a boot and dropping him for the win. After the match, Gallows and Anderson celebrate as we go to replays. Mick Foley was backstage talking to Stephanie McMahon on speakerphone. Stephanie is a surprise. Foley granted Roman Reigns his rematch. Foley does a cheap pop for Cleveland. Sami Zayn comes up and apologizes for interrupting. He just needs to talk to Mick. Sami asks how he goes about announcing his Royal Rumble spot. Stephanie interrupts and announces Sami versus Seth Rollins for tonight. If Sami wins, he's in the Rumble. Stephanie has plans for Rollins, but asks Foley to take her off speakerphone. Sami leaves. Foley says he will go deliver a message to Rollins, but he doesn't agree with it. Foley hangs up and doesn't look too thrilled about Stephanie's plans for Rollins. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get a sit-down interview with Corey Graves and Bayley to discuss her Royal Rumble match against Raw champion Charlotte. She gets hyped up and seems confident about winning the title at Rumble. Mick Foley approaches Seth Rollins backstage and informs him that he has to face Sami Zayn tonight. If Sami wins, he takes Rollins' spot in the Rumble main event. Rollins says he's going to win and make it to WrestleMania 33 so he can throw it right back in Stephanie's face and her coward of a husband, Triple H. So we get Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn up next. Back from a commercial break. Out comes Seth Rollins, and Sami was out following that. They lock up, trade holds after going to the corner. If Sami wins this match, he gets Rollins' spot in the Royal Rumble. Things finally get heated and Sami clotheslines Rollins. Rollins ends up tossing Sami to the floor and nailing Big Dive. Sending Sami into the barrier, we go to commercial with Rollins standing tall. Back from the commercial break, Sami fights out of a hold with strikes. Sami sends Rollins to the apron but gets kicked. Rollins springboards in but can't hit the knee. Sami hits a Blue Thunder Bomb for a 2 count. Sami fights back out of the corner and hits crossbody for a 2 count. Sami then nails a Michinoku driver for a 2 count. Sami goes up top, but Rollins leaps up with him. Sami sends him to the mat. Sami jumps up, has to roll through. Rollins comes off the top with a blockbuster for a 2 count. This is where I caught it as I was coming home from work. I'll take it back. I was off Monday. I had other plans. Like visiting my mom, spending some time with my new roommate. Rollins with knees. Sami countered and rolled him up for a 2 count. Rollins with a big kick to the jaw for a 2 count. Rollins with a Falcon Arrow for a 2 count. They trade shots in the middle of the ring. Rollins with a knee to the face. Rollins with a sling blade. Rollins goes for the pedigree, but it's blocked. Sami nails a big DDT. Sami misses a haluva kick, and Sami blocks the pedigree and dumped Rollins over the top rope. Sami goes up top after wasting some time as Rollins runs back in and kicks Sami in the head. Rollins climbs up for a spear, a super pedigree, but Sami fought out of it. Sami with a sunset flip powerbomb for a 2 count. Sami arguing with a referee. Rollins countered for the Nitsugiri. Sami got the exploder suplex into the corner. Then Sami readies for a haluva kick again on the apron. Rollins kicks him, nails the pedigree on the apron. Rollins looks to put Sami away when Triple H music hits. Rollins waits for Triple H to appear. Forgetting about Sami. Turns around when Sami rolls him up for the win. Rollins looks shocked as there's no Triple H. Sami celebrated his spot in the Rumble match. As Rollins looks on. Back from the break, Furious Rollins is looking for Triple H. Foley says he has nothing to do with this, but it's obvious that Stephanie was working with someone in the production truck. Rollins storms off as Foley promises he will get answers. Tony Nese, Ariya Daivari, and Drew Gulak versus TJ Perkins, Mustafa Ali, and Jack Gallagher. We go to the ring, and Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and Ariya Daivari are already waiting in the ring. We get a vignette from Mustafa Ali. Ali makes his way to the ring as Austin Aries has joined Coleslaw and Graves on commentary. As TJ Perkins was out next, Jack Gallagher and was last for his team. Back and forth to start the match. Gallagher got control of Gulak, and Perkins tags in and nails the crossbody. Gulak gets caught in a submission. Perkins turns around to a 2 count. Gulak launches Perkins into the corner and stomps away on him. Nice was in next. Perkins catches him in a neck breaker. More back and forth between the two. Nice with a gut buster and nails some left hands. Nice with a leg scissors submission in the middle of the ring. Nice ends up missing a springboard moonsault. And I call it springboard moonsault, the lion salt. Gulak and Ali tag in. Ali unloads. Ali nails the big neck breaker as the very breaks up a pinfall. All 6 cruiserweights get involved. Ali ends up hitting the reverse 450 on Gulak for the win. After the match, Ali stands tall with Perkins and Gallagher as we go to replays. Then we see New Day backstage heading to the ring with what looks like shenanigans. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston. Woods talks about how they will win the Rumble, and the music interrupts, and out comes Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Cass announces that he will be in the Rumble. They're quickly interrupted by Russev, Jinder Mahal, and Lana. Russev is also official for the Rumble. Tyson O'Neil's out next. He reveals that he will have an 8-man tag match coming up next. Tyson messes up and indicates that Lana will be wrestling with them. Woods asks who is the real 4th man for their team, and out comes Braun Strowman. So we get Braun Strowman, Rusev, Jinder Mahal, and Titus O'Neil versus New Day and Big Cass. Braun marches to the ring, and everyone looks on. Back to commercial. Back to the ring. And Kofi nails a crossbody on Rusev for a 2 count. Rusev fights back, and in comes Jinder. He beats Kofi down for a quick pin attempt. Titus comes in and nails Kofi as Jinder keeps him held down. Titus slams Kofi and covers for a 2 count. Titus stands tall and plays to the crowd before taking a cheap shot at Big E. Kofi dumps him to the floor. Braun throws Titus back in. Cass gets a tag with Jinder. Cass takes control and tosses Jinder across the ring. Cass with a big splash in the corner and a big boot. And Enzo tags in for a double team off the top. Rocket launcher. And Titus broke up the pinfall. Titus knocks Cass off the apron. Big E with a big suplex on Titus. Big E tosses Rusev to the apron, but runs into Rusev's knee. Cass with a running boot on Rusev that sends them both to the floor. Kofi runs the ropes and dives out. Enzo rolls Jinder up for a 2 count. Then Enzo gets him an enziguri. Braun tags in and corners Enzo. Enzo gets riled up and charges, but Braun levels him with just a shoulder block. Braun scoops Enzo up, but Enzo fought back. Enzo came off the top, but Braun caught him with a big running power slam for the win. After the match, Braun stood tall when Big Show's music hit. Now he comes. Braun waits for a fight. Show enters the ring, and they stare each other down from a distance. Braun ends up backing out of the ring as the fans boo. Braun yells about doing things on his own terms. In the Skinny Show, his music plays as he stands tall, and Braun marches to the stage. Announces Plug NXT TakeOver and the WWE Network. Big Show stops by with the New Day and comments on how cool the new announcer setup is. We get a look back at tonight's Raw opening segment. Still to come, Reigns versus Jericho for the U.S. title. And that match is up next. Back from the ring, we see a shark cage hanging above the ring as the United States Champion. Chris Jericho was out with Kevin Owens. Roman Reigns was out next to a very mixed reaction. Formal ring introductions from JoJo. Reigns strikes first, drops Jericho before tossing him outside. Reigns launched Jericho into the barrier. Reigns kept control and nailed a drive-by. Owens talked trash to Reigns as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Jericho has taken control. Owens is now on commentary. Reigns finally makes a comeback and tosses Jericho to the apron. Jericho goes up top. Reigns decks him. Jericho sends Reigns to the mat and comes off the top, but gets caught with the right hand. Reigns keeps control, but runs into a boot in the corner. Reigns blocks a bulldog. Jericho counters a Samoa drop. Jericho mounts Reigns with the right hand. Referee warns him. Jericho stands tall, but gets caught in a Samoa drop for a 2 count. Reigns goes for a Superman punch, but Jericho drops him for a 2 count. Reigns blocks a code breaker and a boot. Reigns with a sit-down powerbomb for a 2 count. Owens gets up and walks to the ring. Reigns drops Jericho with a Superman punch. Owens enters the ring and unloads on Reigns for the disqualification finish. Winner by DQ, Roman Reigns. After the bell, Owens continues to pound on Reigns. Jericho recovers and stomps on Reigns as Owens calls for the shark cage to be lowered into the ring. Jericho then puts Reigns in the cage as Owens locks the door. Jericho has the key. Reigns pulls Owens' face into the cage as he goes down. As the door was not locked, Reigns does the same to Jericho. Reigns breaks out and puts Owens in the cage. Reigns locks the cage and it's raised with Owens inside. Jericho grabs onto the cage and hangs on. Reigns knocks him off with a Superman punch. Owens yells at Reigns as Reigns waits for Jericho to get up, and Reigns nails a spear for a pop. Reigns' music hits, and he taunts Owens as we go to replays. Back from the break, we get Jericho finally getting Owens out of the shark cage. Charlie Caruso enters and reveals that Mick Foley has added a no disqualification stipulation on Sunday's Universal title match. Owens throws a fit before his music hits, and he storms off with Jericho right behind him. We got Corey Graves sit-down interview with Raw Women's Champion Charlotte. She's just as confident as Bayley going into the Royal Rumble match. Still to come, Goldberg is here. Nia Jax walking to the ring as we return from a commercial. And we get Nia Jax versus Ray Lynn. Back from the break, out comes Nia Jax as we get a look back at last week's attack on Sasha Banks. Enhancement talent Ray Lynn awaits in the ring. She looks scared. Bell rings and Nia floors Lynn. Nia goes on to win with a really quick squash match. Still to come segment, Goldberg is here. Cruiserweight champion Rich Swann walking backstage, match commercial. Back from the break, we get another vignette of Emma's return as Emmalina. Rich Swann versus Noam Dar. Austin Aries back on commentary for this match. Rich Swann makes his way out for a non-title match. Noam Dar is out next with Alicia Fox. Back and forth start. Swann goes for a dive at one point, but Alicia protects Dar. Swann with a big kick to the mouth of Dar. Dar ends up catching Swann as he comes back in the ring for a 2 count. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Dar is in control of Swann. Swann comes back with a clothesline and a kick to the gut. Swann with a double stomp to the back. Swann brings Dar to the mat and then nails a big kick to the mouth. Swann covers for the win. After the match, Swann celebrates the win as we go to replay. Swann takes the mic and calls Neville out. Swann says Neville claims to be a king, but he's nothing but a jester. Swann says they don't have to wait until Royal Rumble. Music hit, out comes Neville to the ring. He puts one leg through the ropes. Swann begs him to bring it. Neville drops back off the apron as fans boo. Swann immediately nails a big dive to the floor. Neville manages to retreat. Swann's music hits as he raises the title to Neville. We see the locker room door of Bill Goldberg. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get Alexander versus Neville is announced for 205 Live, which is after SmackDown. He's looking at his match as a stepping stone to the title. Noam Dar and Alicia Fox walk up. Fox says Cedric will never be anything without her. Dar wants to make sure that there are no hard feelings over Dar stealing his girlfriend. Dar says that they're good as far as Alicia is concerned, but Dar still attacked him last week. Cedric dropped Dar, and Alicia says he's just jealous. She tends to Dar as Cedric walks off. Sasha versus Nia is now official for Royal Rumble pre-show. We go to the ring. Out comes Bill Goldberg to a pop. Fans are chanting his name as he blames on some fumbling of his words. Goldberg talks about how the road to WrestleMania 33 and the WWE Universal title runs through the Royal Rumble match. Goldberg says nothing will stop him from getting the Universal title match. He says the mentions to other 29 Royal Rumble participants. You are. And as he was saying he was interrupted before he said next. Paul Heyman interrupted with a mic. Heyman hypes the Royal Rumble match and various matchups we could see. He does the introduction for his client, and out comes Brock Lesnar to the stage. Heyman says Lesnar is the instrument of Goldberg's demise. Heyman then says Goldberg will be beaten, victimized, emasculated, embarrassed, and conquered in the Rumble. He then will be thrown over the top rope and eliminated by the Beast. Goldberg checks him up and asks if Lesnar is going to be a man and come to the ring or sit there like a dumbass. Lesnar marches to the ringside area as they stare each other down. Heyman is right behind him. Fan chant for Goldberg as Lesnar circles the ring and jumps on the apron. Lesnar enters the ring as they face off from a distance. Bell tolls, out comes The Undertaker to a massive pop. Taker is actually standing in the ring between Goldberg and Lesnar when the lights come on. Bell tolls again and again. Lights go back out with a purple glow. Raw goes off the air. At that point, nothing more than that was Taker's music playing. Goldberg, Lesnar, and Taker just exchanged the stare down. Well, what happened after all? Sami Zayn tweeted and called his own win over Seth Rollins one of his toughest Raw matches ever. As noted, Rollins lost his Royal Rumble spot to Zayn with the loss. And Sami tweeted the following: I like Sami Zayn. Yeah, that's his Twitter name. No. One of my toughest #Raw matches ever, with one of the best going today. At WWE Rollins. Not the win I wanted, but still headed to #Royal Rumble. Also, if you missed Raw or whatever, you can see most of the events, matches at this link. Twitter.com/WWE. The Royal Rumble Go Home edition of Raw. Goldberg, Lesnar, the final segment right there. What I'm talking about. After the show ended, Lesnar left the ring first, followed by Goldberg, who greeted some fans at ringside. This will happen after TV stopped rolling. Undertaker kneeled to the crowd before leaving and stopping on the ramp to raise his fist in the air. There was no physical interaction between the three, and you can see that in this link there as well. Goldberg wasn't the only one to be busted open on Raw, as Russev bled after going at it with Kofi Kingston. And a photo of Lana and a ringside doctor tending to Russev at ringside can be shown on this link as well. It's at Instagram.com/Wrestling Inc. It was noted by a Wrestling Inc. reader in attendance that the towel was covered in blood pretty well by the time Rusev went to the back. And that concludes my Raw video. Peace out. See you on the video. If you don't know, just call me brothers and sisters.